Guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. So today we're going to be going over the latest episode of Insecure, episode number 4, called Low Key Losing It. Alright, let's get right into this episode, guys. So the episode starts off with the tenants knocking on Issa's apartment door, and they're upset because they have no water. Let me just say, I understand that Issa needs to do her job, but there's no way that those people should just be able to bombard her like that and walk up into her apartment, okay? Issa just needs to learn how to put her foot down, okay? Because even though she needs to make sure that they have water and they have everything they need, there's also some lines that they should not be able to cross, okay? Anyway, so it's now 1 month before the block party, and we have Molly working on a case at home, right? So Andrew comes over, and she's obviously lost track of time because the rollers are still in her hair and her underarms are funky, okay? So when Andrew comes in, he wants to get right into it with Molly, okay? No talking or anything. He just wants them draws. So Molly is too consumed with thoughts of her work, and she promises Andrew that she will be done by 9. Fast forward, and this chick was not done until 1:42 a.m., okay? And all I could think of was, girl, how you lose track of time like that? Especially if it's something that's not fun to do, okay? Anyway, so next we got Issa, and she's working on some things as well. She gets a call from Ryan from D&S Printers, who tells her that he needs the notes on the flyer by 5 p.m. So it appears that Issa's falling behind on a few things because she's overwhelmed. Now it could be that Condola is not helping her as much as before. If you noticed, when Issa texted her, there were no responses from Condola, okay? Now these texts were sent over a course of a few days. All right, I think one of them had like December 4th and one was like December 6th or something like that. All right, there was only one response from Condola that said, "I'll call you after work." And this response came after many of Issa's texts went unanswered. Anyway, so Issa calls Condola and leaves a message because she needs Condola to get back to her on the flyer proof. Next, we have Molly at the law office, and she's working late. And she decides to stay even later at work, okay? And she tells the girls, oh, my man gets it. And I'm just like, okay, girl, we'll see how long you can keep doing that, all right? Putting your man off, neglecting him, that's not gonna work, all right? So now, next we got Issa and Molly fighting over a parking spot. Once again, Issa's gonna have to learn to stand up for herself. She clearly saw the spot first, and even after she told Molly she was gonna go ahead and pull into the spot, Molly still didn't budge. It's almost as if Molly expected Issa to relent. And she was right, because Issa did relent. Anyway, when the girls meet up in front of Tiffany's house, they talk about picking a new day of the week to replace their self-care Sunday because they've both missed the past few weeks. So the girls awkwardly agreed that they still want to meet up. So next, while Lawrence is catching up with Derek as he coos over his baby girl, Issa and the gang are in the living room catching up with Tiffany. So they're talking, and Molly and Issa bump heads once again, okay? Molly makes a comment about how relationships are supposed to work, and Issa makes a joke about Molly being Jada, red table talking, okay? But Molly doesn't appreciate it. She couldn't see that Issa was just making a joke, all right? So it seems like these girls are just way past just talking, okay? They seem like they need to have like some type of mediator at this point because they're just both overly sensitive about anything that's said. All right, so while Molly and Tiffany go to the back to check on the baby, Issa confides in Kelly. She tells Kelly that Molly has been acting off and treating her like Issa is the messiest chick on the planet and like Molly's life is so perfect. Kelly says, why don't you just tell her how you feel? And Issa says, I feel like she sees me how she sees me. And Kelly just says, okay. So clearly Kelly wasn't much help, all right? But then Lawrence comes into the dining room and he mouths to Issa that he needs to talk to her. So she goes out to the back with him and they start talking. So Molly's looking out the window and she's scoffing at Lawrence and Issa's interaction. Then she gets a text from Andrew asking if they're still on for a movie night. So she texts back that she's still on baby duty and then has to catch up on work. So that's the second time so far that she's blown him off, okay? She was just in the living room talking about what makes a good relationship, yet she don't even know how to find time for her man. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, so Molly starts talking to Tiffany about Issa and how Issa said she doesn't want to be happy. She tells Tiffany that she thinks it's funny how Issa talks to her about getting involved in messy things, yet she's involved in something messy right now by talking to Lawrence. And guys, I honestly loved how Tiffany handled the situation, okay? She responded in the best way possible. She let Molly know that as far as Issa and Lawrence goes, things are complicated. Then she tells Molly that it's probably a breakdown in communication between her and Issa, and that Issa probably feels the same way. Now, Molly didn't seem too thrilled about the way Tiffany handled the responses, but I just feel like it was real on her part and it was neutral. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't messy and saying anything. She wasn't dogging Issa out, and at the same time, she wasn't co-signing with Molly. She's basically letting it be known that it's something that neither one of you are handling well. Y'all both seriously have to talk it out. What you're telling me, you should be telling her. And that is the main thing. I feel like Issa and Molly, they're not telling each other what they really feel, and they really should, because right now the relationship is looking really rocky. Meanwhile, Lawrence and Issa are outside having a friendly chat, and she tells him that she hasn't heard from Condola. So Lawrence was about to tell her something, but Issa takes a phone call in which she finds out that her headliner has backed out of the block party. Upon hearing this, Lawrence decides not to tell Issa what he was going to tell her. Oh my gosh, and I hate when that happens, okay, guys? I feel like Lawrence was about to bare his soul, but it didn't happen, and I think he probably didn't say anything because him and Condola might have broken up, and the result of him and Condola breaking up could be that Issa lost her headliner, and maybe Lawrence felt like, you know what, this is probably Condola's doing, and I probably shouldn't bare my soul to Issa right now because she's just gonna get mad at me, you know? So it probably, in Lawrence's eyes, it just probably wasn't the right time. I'm just guessing, guys, because I'm just so annoyed that he was not able to tell her what he wanted to tell her. You know what I'm saying? It's really looking like he's looking at Issa a lot differently this week. He kind of looked at her with a certain look in his eyes. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the way Lawrence was looking at Issa, he was looking at Issa like he liked her, okay? Now, I already know, yes, they've been together for 5 years. They've been broken up not for too long, okay? So, of course, he still possibly loves her. I believe that. But it seems like maybe he's liking her again in terms of, I think I want that back. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So Issa's at home and she's racking her brain, searching on social media for artists to replace her headliner. She even gets desperate enough to call some people that she has not spoken to in years. Next, Molly is on a date with Andrew and she thanks him for being so flexible lately. But when she tells him that tonight she's all his, Andrew tells her that he made plans with his boys. So she says, I thought this was date night. And he says, I just assumed you had work later. So after she tells him that she obviously has time, he says, how was I supposed to know? And that he's just trying to figure out where he fits in. So Molly is clearly unhappy. So Andrew says, why don't I just call Seth and cancel? But Molly says, no, it's fine, knowing good and well it was not fine with her. Anyway, so next we have Issa, and she calls Molly to ask if Molly could ask Andrew to hook her up with an artist from Live Nation. Now, in this moment, I honestly felt bad for Molly because at first she seemed to be relieved that Issa wanted to talk to her, you know, as old friends. But when she saw that Issa was just using her to get plugged in with an artist, she was disappointed. Honestly, Issa could have handled that situation better too, you know, in my opinion. She could have at least listened to Molly's issues because she clearly needed someone to talk to. She was basically trying to tell Issa that she was on work overload and trying to juggle things and it was hard for her. But instead, Issa was just like, damn girl, I'm sorry. Like, okay, this ain't gonna take long. So she basically just cut her off and clearly made it seem like she didn't give two craps about what Molly was saying or what Molly was going through, okay? So anyway, Molly agrees to help, but then goes to Andrew's house and has a conversation with him about him being a priority in her life. She tells him that this relationship thing is new to her and that she's never been in a relationship long enough to have to balance it and work. So after her and Andrew make up, she calls Issa to tell her that she won't be asking Andrew for the favor. she tells Issa that her relationship with him means a lot and she wants to protect it. And Issa looked really hurt, okay? She was probably thinking to herself, okay, what about our relationship? Don't you want to protect that? But of course, Issa is not going to speak her mind. She's not going to say anything. So the girls hang up, and this is, of course, going to put their relationship in a worse place, guys. I think Molly decided not to ask because she didn't trust Issa to be responsible enough to keep the artist happy. She probably was afraid that Issa would lose the artist again, okay? Because if you guys remembered, when Issa first called her and asked her, you know, can you hook me up, ask Andrew about this artist, Molly's questions were, okay, why did you lose the artist in the first place? Did you have a contract? You know, did you make all your payments? Something had to happen on your end. Did you do anything on your end that would make the artist break the contract? And Issa was just like, girl, I just need to fix this. Like, I didn't do anything, that I just need to fix this. So I just really think that at this point, Molly doesn't trust Issa to be responsible with this favor. And she doesn't want any friction in her relationship with Andrew because she feels like Issa is going to be irresponsible. That is my take on it and what I thought, okay? And that honestly makes me feel like, okay, so you still feel like Issa is a screw up. And at one point, Molly makes me feel like she's not too thrilled that Issa is trying to do better. And then in this episode, she made me feel like she's still treating Issa like she's the same old Issa, someone that's always in a mess or getting something screwed up. So that's my opinion on it, guys. That was my review, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. And, you know, I really enjoyed it. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. And I will see you guys later. Be blessed.